Good morning. It's Saturday morning and I worked on the spiral staircase yesterday for several hours, and I got a little farther. I have 10 steps up now, and it's getting better, but I'm feeling the pain of it all. We started with this horse barn here years ago. We've turned it into a storage facility, but it was really built well on the inside with this huge lumber, and we saved it all. And this is what Jim Bosch was kind enough to let me take a few of them to build my stairs. So here we go. Okay, well, I have to sort through all this stuff, get the good boards, the best possible anyway. There was a lot of moving around, a lot of bugs, spiders, whatnot, and hauling them over, cleaning them off, getting rid of the bugs and the dirt and the mud and the whatever from sitting there for years. They're kind of got nails in the ends of them, and it was much easier just to cut the nails off. This is Douglas fir, I believe, and extremely dense. It's old wood, so I couldn't just chop right through it. I had to kind of saw back and forth with the chop saw. And then they were all cut to the exact same length. That was just a little job in itself, just getting them all cut to length. And I wanted a nice smooth edge, so I took my time. Now they're all cut to length. Here's one of the loads of tailings. Took over to the burn pile. Now they were all slightly curved. In other words, they had a little bit of a bend in them, so I wanted to make sure that they were all exactly the same width at the point that they would go into the pole. So that's complete now. Harness up. Starting to get a little bit higher up in the air, so I want to make sure that I have my safety gear. Used to be a tree climber. Now I guess I'm a stair climber. As you can see up at the top, I built a small jig to hold my saw and perform other functions as well later on in the video. And in the interest of time, I've sped some of this up. So I'd cut the bottom cut, and then I would cut the top cut. My saw just rests in this jig, so it cuts identically every time. And as you can see, it also sits on the step below it, so I have equal separation on the steps. Hang my tools over and pull the jig off. Now comes the tedious process of knocking out the wood with a chisel. First I start with the back end of a hammer, just do the rough stuff. And then it progresses into hand chiseling, getting it nice clean cut with a good sharp chisel. This is very time consuming, each step. You gotta be able to see that for sure here. And I'd start out by just getting it started with a small hammer. And you can see it's a tight fit too. I didn't want any sloppiness. I know nothing's going to shrink, but still I wanted it to be as tight as possible. Then comes the sledgehammer. Get it beat in there. I want a nice flat mounting there, so it has the exact dimension, the exact angle from the previous step that I want, that my jig provided me. And you know, you can see why I'm tied off. Alright, now get it nice and leveled up. I drill a hole to countersink the bolt head, and then that was all the way into the pole, and then this just drills through the step itself so the bolt doesn't actually grab the step, so there's no binding there. And Makita impact, great, awesome. They just, a lot of power. Alright, and here I go. I zip down, hanging by the harness. As you can see, there's nowhere to stand to put the lower brace on, so I have to do it via harness. It doesn't seem that rough here, but you know, you get up on the higher steps and you definitely need that harness. Alright. So I apologize for, oh, here we go. This is great. So in order, once I'd made one rotation, in order to get the steps to line up with one another, I added a piece to my jig with a plumb bob on it, so I knew exactly how far around to place the step.